Hello, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to my so-called show. It's no surprise Amazon Prime has been infuriating their paying customers with shit like this.
But you have not seen what I've seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen what I have seen.
Shut up, you twit!
While also interrupting our programs with ads despite the fact we are paying this fucking thing. But 2 years ago, they brought us a proper adaptation of Lee Child's infamous sociopathic badass former MP10 drifter Jack Reacher. No longer miscast by the smaller Tom Cruise, Alan Ritchson portrayed Reacher as the large, burly bastard that the fans of the original novels wanted, while also giving the mountain-sized protagonist more of a personality.
Looking for payback?
Payback, justice, vengeance.
And the first series was great. It had a sexy female ally,
Just a slight stiffness coming on.
an everyman ally, dodgy people in suits, and of course, Reacher fucking scumbags up. Season 2 sadly failed to match the success of the first, and while I did like the team dynamic, it suffered from wasted villains, plot holes, and neatly given way too much screen time. But could Season 3 capture the magic of the first? Well, slutty British ladies with bad Irish-American accents and psychopathic Asian gentlemen with Irish names and ear fetishes. This is Reacher Season 3. Reacher Season 3 sees Reacher, once again played by Alan Ritchson, rescue a young lad named Richard Beck, played by Johnny Birchtold, from being kidnapped. But then he accidentally kills a cop, putting him in a desperate situation.
Shit.
Rich tells him his dad is a rich rug salesman, and that he also has connections that can help clean up his mess.
Logical.
A rug salesman with connections? Sounds very not suspicious. Reacher reluctantly takes him up on his offer and meets with his father, Zachary Beck, played by Anthony Michael Hall, who hires him to be his son's bodyguard. But it turns out it was all a ploy to infiltrate Beck's operation.
What a twist!
For DEA agents Duffy, played by smoking hot MILF Sonia Cassidy, past his prime desk jockey Guillermo, played by Roberto Montesinos, and the young and naive Stephen Elliott, played by Daniel David Stewart, who are trying to track down a criminal named McCabe who may have kidnapped their informant.
Son of a bitch must pay.
Now, I have already gone through my thoughts on each episode, and if you want to see me go through them in a little more detail, the playlist will be in the description. But since you're here, here's my more condensed thoughts. Reacher Season 3 is okay. It doesn't top the first season, but it is better than the second. Ritchson is still convincingly intimidating as well as charming, and it is cool to see him fuck people up and deliver the one-liners with his more deadpan manner.
You have any thoughts on dessert?
He has good chemistry with Cassidy, Montesinos, and Stewart, and does a good job being a surrogate father figure to Rich. I even like how he's more vengeful, not giving a shit about the consequences, which usually would ruin a character, but here it makes sense. Reacher is not a man who seeks justice. You cross him, no badge is going to prevent him from doing what he needs to do. Sonia Cassidy does well as Duffy, and even though I like her quest to seek redemption for her mistakes, she could have been written a bit more competent. But she delivers some funny quips, and seeing her with Ritchson on screen together is fun to watch. Montesinos is also likeable as the overweight desk jockey Gully, and I don't buy his need to protect Duffy, who he cares for as a daughter. And despite being out of shape and not the best agent out in the field, he does redeem himself by the end of the series and comes through. Birchtold does a good job selling the trauma Rich has gone through, and while Zach could have been written a bit better as the man forced into a situation against his will, he does redeem himself, and when he does make amends with his son, it is actually quite touching. It also leads to a pretty good payoff involving a toy gun being glued together with epoxy. Brian T is convincing as the psychopathic ear-slicing enthusiast McCabe, aka Quinn, and unlike Robert Patrick's nothing villain in Season 2, Quinn shows what a twisted, sadistic fuck he really is, forcing Rich to play Russian roulette as a way to intimidate Zack. I even like the idea Reacher has to take on an even bigger, tougher opponent who knocks his confidence and makes him feel the most vulnerable he's ever felt. making him adapt to the situation and rely more on his wits more than brute strength. But the show suffers from too many plot holes, characters making dumb choices, which, yes, involves Duffy leaving her badge behind and getting her men killed, blowing Reacher's cover, and can't seem to control herself, grueling in her knickers the moment Reacher shows his abs. Then again, looking like that is understandable. She even gets let off way too lightly for all the stupid shit that she did, despite the fact that she is willing to take responsibility for them.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
It also suffers from villains making dumb decisions by keeping an informant alive just because their bosses have a fetish for the red bush.
Oh my.
You do realise there's other sexy redheads out there that you can sell that doesn't contain information that'll jeopardise your entire operation.
It's just dumb.
And not only that, these are the same people that killed one of Zach's employees after they discovered she was an ATF agent.
That's just lazy writing.
The episodes of Reacher trying to keep his cover while hopping back and forth between Beck's house and his meetings with Duffy does drag on a little bit, and Neagley is obviously shoehorned in way too much as an annoying way to hypers for the spin-off nobody asked for. And don't get me wrong, she's not in it as much as she was in the second series, and I don't hate her character, but she works better in small doses. It's like Lorne in Angel. Even if Andy Hallett was alive, I wouldn't want to see a spin-off of his character despite the fact I really like his character. But even despite some of the writing choices being more questionable than a guy drinking coffee made from cat shit, this is still a fun, violent action thriller that, even when it does fall apart, Reacher manages to be the epoxy that holds it all together. And whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for watching, and do remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that bell in order to be notified. And if you wish to further support this channel, then the links are in the description below. But right now, that's me done, and I'm off to the pub.